Israel may become the first country to roll out a fourth dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. A government panel has recommended that people over the age of 60 be given the jab. Prime Minister Naftali Bennett says that it will help fight the spread of Omicron. Israel reported its first death with the variant on Tuesday. Let's talk about this with Dr. Bharat Pankania, who's a senior clinical lecturer at the University of Exeter's Medical School. He joins us now from Bath in the UK. Good to have you with us again, Doctor. Will a fourth dose make any difference to our immunity against the Omicron variant?
Well, if we look at biological systems, every little controlled exposure to the virus's proteins enables your body's immune system to be reminded and then reminded again that you need to make immunity against me, and more importantly, that remember me. In other words, immune memory. So, of course, it makes a lot of biological sense that a fourth and maybe a fifth vaccine would be beneficial in that it augments the immunity. Having said all this, there is, of course, a concern that we need to also immunize the rest of the world too.
What's more important, though, getting people a first dose of the vaccine, given that there are so many people around the world who are yet to see one, or giving those who've already been vaccinated yet another booster?
You are absolutely right, and we need to immunize people who have not had any vaccines at all, because that is where the greatest public health gain comes from. Again, this is an example of the richer nations can do whatever they like because they've got the vaccines, they've got the supplies, and they can immunize their population once, twice, thrice, and now the fourth time. We need a global effort on this.
Does that mean that if rich nations, as you say, run out a program to vaccinate people a fourth or maybe even a fifth time, then that nations who are yet to administer even a first are going to miss out?
Not only are they missing out, the tragedy is people die, and we need to accept that if you do not immunize, people die. And then furthermore, I have said this repeatedly, is if you do not suppress infections in vulnerable countries where you have a lot of immune suppressed people, then you will get the drive for variants to emerge, and Omicron is one such example, and we can definitely get other variants which will again be a setback if we don't suppress infections in all over the world.
Coming back to Israel, and I think this question kind of has to do with what you were just saying. Israel's been a leader in mass vaccination programs, and yet here we are, it's suffering another wave of infections. Why is that?
Exactly, because we've had a couple of things happen. One, a variant has arisen which bypasses a substantial amount of the antibodies produced by the current vaccines. And the second bit is, this is ridiculous almost, is we've been immunizing, but the immunity drops after 6 months. And then there are viruses circulating in other parts of the world which come and infect you. So what we really should have had, a global effort, is suppress viruses all over the world. And if you suppress infections all over the world, bring it down slowly, then we are all in a better place as a result of fewer viruses circulating globally.
Really good to talk to you again, Doctor. Many thanks indeed for being with us. Dr. Bharat Pankania there in Bath in the UK.